Ecosystems are super complex, and there's interactions going on around us all the time. Some of those interactions are really obvious, while others, well, they're subtle and we're still trying to figure them out. And in ecosystems, interactions take place within groups, amongst individuals, between the living and non-living things in the ecosystem, between species of the same kind, and also between species of different kinds. In this lesson, we're going to focus on the interaction between two different species. When two different species interact within an ecosystem, we call that relationship symbiosis. The cool part about symbiosis is that it's happening all around us. But without understanding it, you might not realize that it's happening at all. Before we dive into the lesson, we need to identify what the objectives of the lesson are. So by the time you complete this lesson, you should be able to understand some of the different ways organisms interact within their environment, be able to identify or define symbiosis, and also distinguish between mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism. And you should be able to show that you fully understand the concepts by being able to provide examples of some symbiotic relationships within your very own community. There are also some words that you need to understand first in order to understand the concepts we're going to learn about in this lesson. Please take a minute and be sure that you fully understand the words listed here. If you need to pause the video and review the prerequisite vocabulary, please do so. As mentioned before, the main topic of this lesson is the concept of symbiosis. The key thing you need to remember about symbiosis is that it is an interaction between two different species. The three kinds of symbiotic relationships are parasitism, mutualism, and commensalism. First, we're going to take a closer look at parasitism. Parasitism is defined as a relationship between species in which one species benefits at the expense of another species. The example here is that of a tick and a human being. In this relationship, the parasitic deer tick finds a way to attach itself to some kind of hairy mammal, such as a human, and then feeds from its host by drinking its blood. The goal of the parasite is not to kill its host, because if it kills its host, then the parasite would have to find another host, and that wouldn't be beneficial to the parasite. But the host does acquire negative side effects from the parasite being attached to it. In this case, the host can become sick. So this is a parasitic relationship, because the tick benefits from a good meal, while the host suffers. Do you know any other pair of species that displays a parasitic relationship? Another type of symbiotic relationship is called mutualism. Mutualism occurs when both of the two species in their relationship benefits. Here we see an emporé fish and a cleaner shrimp in a very close relationship. Most shrimp are looked at as a meal for various fish in the ocean, but the emporé fish and this particular shrimp have a mutual understanding. In this case, the fish tolerates the shrimp because it's helping the fish out by cleaning potentially harmful parasites from the fish's body. The fish benefits by getting a good cleaning, and the shrimp benefits by getting a snack. Since both species benefit from this mutual agreement, the relationship is called mutualism. Can you think of any other mutualistic relationships in nature? The third and final type of symbiotic relationship is called commensalism. Commensalism is a relationship between species where one of the species benefits and the other species is neither harmed nor benefited. The commensal relationship shown here is between a pilotfish and a reef shark. The pilotfish cruises around alongside the shark, catching a free ride and picking up the small scraps left behind from the shark's meals. The shark doesn't mind because the pilot fish isn't harming the shark, but it's not helping the shark out in any way either. So, the pilot fish benefits and the shark is neutral, making this a commensal relationship. Take a minute and try to think of other examples of commensalism. Try to keep in mind that symbiotic relationships occur between animals and plant species as well. Some examples are ferns growing from branches of large trees, parasitic mistletoe growing on oak trees, and fungus and algae growing together as lichen. Symbiotic relationships are all around us. We just need to know what to look for. After learning about the different types of symbiotic relationships within an ecosystem and seeing a few examples of each, maybe you can think of a few examples of symbiosis in your own community, or perhaps even in your own backyard. I hope you enjoyed this lesson and the following assignment on the next slide. And as always, you can contact me at the email address below with any questions you might have about this lesson or anything else pertaining to this class. Good luck! And here is your assignment. This quick assignment asks you to find examples of symbiosis around you. So, I'm looking forward to seeing all the symbiotic relationships you're able to discover in your very own community. Don't forget to attach your findings to an email addressed to me with "I love symbiosis" in the subject line. Have fun and good luck.